All right, let's go ahead and get started. So once again, guys, welcome on in. Like I said, my name is Ryan. Congrats on being approved to sell live here on Whatnot. So very exciting moment for you guys. Great time for you guys to be hopping in on Whatnot as well. Before we get started with today's meeting, I just wanted to go over kind of housekeeping rules and agenda. Overall goals for today, it's going to be a pretty high-level session. There's going to be lots of really important, great information. But at the end of the day, our goal is to really help you feel equipped and confident and comfortable on how to execute that selling here on the platform. So at the end of the day, that is our goal here. So we're going to go over the fulfillment side of it, selling, trust and safety, the finances piece of it, the marketing side of it, all those little pieces, and then even going at a microscopic view, going even deeper there. So housekeeping rules, here's a couple things that I'm asking from you guys. Please remain on mute throughout the session. I definitely encourage you guys to take notes. Not mandatory, but encourage you to take notes. There's going to be lots of important information. We are going to send you guys an email at the end of all of this as well. So if you don't want to take notes, no worries. And then last piece is please hold on to any questions. I'm sure you guys have tons of questions. I don't blame you. Please just hold on to those until the end. Please don't put anything down in the chat. Take yourselves off mute and ask that question. For respect for everyone, just hold on to it and host a Q&A session at the end. So you'll have the ability to ask those questions at the end. All right, here we go. Let's get started today, guys. All right, so first want to hit on platform benefits. I know you guys are already bought in, you're already aware of Whatnot, but really wanted to highlight a couple things again. So first is the advanced technology. I like to consider Whatnot a merger of kind of two different avenues. So I like to consider that Whatnot is a merger of a social app and an e-commerce app. Boom, that is the baby of Whatnot, right? So this allows for a community element while also having this e-commerce payment, everything built and baked into it. Truly believe that this helps you guys grow that community, develop new relationships, helps you guys move through orders, push volume. It also helps you guys expand and scale your business unlike any app out there. Second thing to highlight is the built-in demand. I'm sure you guys have seen this before, but we have buyers from all across the world. So it is a global-wide community of collectors and buyers that are going to be hopping into your stream. People from India, Central America, South America, Australia, Asia, UK. We just launched in UK, so you might see some UK friends in there, Canada, here domestic in the US. There's going to be tons of people hopping into your room, which is super, super cool. We work very hard on our end, on the marketing side of it, the promotion, in-app events, paid marketing to continue drive those buyers. So all that we ask from you guys, put on a BA show and also make sure you have a great amount of supply. The third thing to jump into, shipping and payment. All of that on Whatnot is automatic. So this means it's going to save you guys a ton of time. You don't have to worry about trying to track someone down in a claim sale, figure out what their PayPal address is. They ghost you. They never get back to you. You don't have to worry about shipping something to the UK and you don't know how to make a customs form because customs is such a pain in your end. It gets so confusing and frustrating, right? You don't have to worry about any of all that. Our system is going to take care of all that for you guys, going to save you a ton of time. Fourth thing is the customer support. This is going to save you tons of time and minimize a lot of potential headaches. So all of your customer support related needs are going to be taken on by us here at Whatnot from a buying perspective and from a selling perspective. So we have two dedicated teams for both of those avenues. I'll highlight those here in a couple of minutes, but just know that you guys are supported from the selling side of it and for all of your buyers, they will be supported as well. The last thing to wrap up here is just the protection. This is really straightforward. I know this isn't reciprocated very well across the hobby with different apps and competitors out there, but we really value you guys as a seller. We want to make sure that you guys feel heard, welcome, that your feedback is taken in, but also that you guys feel protected. So where I'm going with this is we protect you guys against chargebacks and fraud, whether that is a professional credit card fraudster or a 7-year-old kid bidding up the card on their mom's phone. We ensure that you guys are protected in those scenarios. All that we ask is that you guys ship out your orders, ship it out well with due diligence, and we'll make sure to take care of it on the back end. All right, jumping into the next piece here, we're gonna dive in here on how the app actually works, buying and selling wise. So if you've yet to buy anything on Whatnot, definitely encourage you to do so. However, be careful because it's very addictive. You're not only gonna buy one item or buy into one break. I see a couple people smiling. I'm sure you can right there, but you guys are going to learn something important. You'll learn what the experience looks like from the buyer end. Additionally, you're going to learn that buyers pay for shipping, right? So as a seller, it's a $0 shipping fee for you. So here's how we're going to walk through this journey real quick. So you guys are going to start. You guys are going to get your live access at the end of today's session. You guys are going to get a prompt to schedule your show. You're then going to go and schedule your first show. once you guys get that show scheduled, you can then start to upload listings and different products. You guys can do that through a custom field. So if you guys are planning to do breaks, sports memorabilia, singles and slabs, whatever your plan is, you start to upload those listings. Where I'm going with this is when you're uploading your listings, you're going to want to select an appropriate shipping profile. Try and be as on point as possible here. The reason why is because the cost of shipping is baked into the weight and obviously the user's location, but more so the weight. So it's going to be $4 to $12.50 for the first item that someone purchases from you, and then it'll be offered at a reduced shipping cost of 25 cents to $6.50 for any additional item that they purchase in that same stream. So if I'm in Andrew's very first stream, first card I buy from Andrew, going to be this nice little Tom Brady die cut. I get this one for a couple bucks. Shipping on this one is only going to be a few dollars. This is going to be $4 because it's an ounce or two. Second card I buy from Andrew is going to be this nice little green mosaic Josh Allen. Not a bad guy to invest in right now. Stock is high. Get this one for a steal. Shipping on this one is only going to be 25 cents. So as a buyer, I'm going to be paying $4.25 for these two items. On the opposite side, from the seller perspective, every single buyer will have a dedicated shipping label and a packing slip. So you guys aren't going to have to worry if someone goes ham and buys 20 different singles in your live. You're not going to have 20 different shipping labels. Everything's going to be bundled together. Try to make your guys' life easier. So once you guys wrap up with this live stream, right, you guys are then going to go to whatnot.com on your computer, laptop, or desktop, and you're going to log in, and from there, you'll be able to access your seller dashboard. In the seller dashboard, this is where your labels will live. The labels are automatically going to be available for you guys after your show. So the most important piece on this whole entire slide is this right here. Please, please, please do not make your own labels. Use the labels that are available for you after your show. If you choose to make your own labels, one, the buyer is not going to have the proper journey, and two, we cannot guarantee that you get paid out on that item. I want to make sure that you guys get paid out for all the hard work that you guys are doing, so please use the labels that are available for you provided by Whatnot. I'll give you guys a glimpse into what that looks like in just a second, but just know the labels are going to be there for you in that seller dashboard. Like I said, everything's going to be bundled together, one label per live stream. If someone goes ham and has 20 different singles, the packing slip might be a little bit longer, but there's just going to be one label together. If you guys, for any reason, need to go in and adjust the weight and dimensions of those labels before you actually print them out, you guys are able to do so. So say I buy 25 different singles from Andrew. Andrew's like, wow, thank you so much. That means so much to me. I want to take care of you. I'm going to throw a nice little blaster box in there. That would probably change the weight of my order. So you guys can go in, make adjustments if need be, but just know you'll have that ability to do so. And then two more points here on just the label side of it. So if you guys need an insured label, you're opening up some wax, you're doing some brand new packs, you hit a downtown Messi, you hit a 101 T-Law, you hit a gold RPA of LaMelo, whatever you hit, right? $5,000 card, whatever it might be, you guys can actually reach out to seller support at whatnot.com. They can provide you with an insured label free of charge. So just shoot them over the order information, picture the card comps. They're going to provide that custom insured label for you. That makes sure that we take care of the buyer, and you're also taking care of yourself as a seller, trying to do everything as best as possible. Excuse me. Last thing to note here is you guys will be shipping through USPS. That is our main shipping partner for the time being. So FedEx, UPS, local pickup, delivery, those options aren't available at the moment. I'm sure there's a couple people that will come across a scenario. If you have any friends that order from you, excuse me, if you have any friends that order from you, if you have anyone in town, local that orders from you, I encourage you still ship it out. That's going to be the way that you get paid. So if you have someone that comes and picks up those cards in person, it's going to make it difficult for you to actually get paid. So just ship everything out, all right? And then the last bullet point, ship out within 2 business days, as that is our policy. You guys are going to be able to see your average shipping time reflected right on your Whatnot profile. Once you get a couple lives underneath your belt, you guys can go and check out some of your favorite streamers, some of your favorite sellers now. You could click on their profile and see their average shipping time. Some of it might be impressive. Some of it might be encouragement for you guys to be top tier on your shipping time, right? So really try and be excellent in shipping out within 2 business days. All right, here's that little insight at what the seller dashboard looks like. Don't feel like you have to memorize this right away, but I want you guys to be prepared when you come across it. So this is what you're going to be viewing once your live stream is complete. So you're going to log into your seller dashboard, select the appropriate live stream that you just ran. I need to update this because I've ran some more lives. I even did one last night. But select on your appropriate live stream, and then you're going to have some simple information at the top, some shipment information. Here's your seller settings. So you can have 2 different type of label selections. You can do 8.5 by 11 paper or 4 by 6 label if you have a thermal printer. Definitely would recommend that. But You're more than welcome to choose whatever you'd like. Here's your return address. What's really important though is the bottom half of this picture here. So right here is where you're actually going to generate and print those labels. So for each buyer, like I said, there's going to be a dedicated tab. You can collapse those tabs to see every single order that each buyer has, and that's where you're going to be able to select an action to generate the label and to print the label. If you have 10 orders or 10 buyers from your stream, it's going to be pretty easy to go through, click generate and print. You can do it one by one. If you want to expedite that process, this is what these buttons are for. So you can actually bulk generate your labels. You click that, refresh your screen 2 to 3 times, boom, your labels are going to be available to print. You can then email them to yourself. You'll email them to the email you have on file. You can open up that the link, massive PDF. You can print it out all in one run. So super, super awesome options. Really want to help you speed up that time to ship. The last thing I'll highlight on this page right here is the scan. So generate scans. It's also known as a manifest form. I'm sure some of you guys might have heard of that before. Generate scan. That is essentially a QR code that gets printed off. This QR code has every single order's tracking number attached to it. So we're in this journey, right? We crush that first live stream. We end the show. We print out our label, start to package and fulfill everything. Next day in the afternoon, we go and drop off our packages. We're also going to bring this scan form. We're going to hand this to the USPS worker. They're going to be able to scan that QR code, and every single order is going to get uploaded into their system. This eliminates them having to one by one manually scan each order. So it actually helps in 3 different ways. First, it helps out the accuracy of those orders getting scanned into their system, so that helps your buyer. It also helps you as a seller because the tracking is related to you guys getting your payout. And third, it makes the job for the post office worker easier, which you definitely want to have them on your good side. You do not want to roll up with a U-Haul full of Funko Pops and see immediate dissatisfaction on their faces. We've done that before. We've had to provide them with Funko Pops and gift cards to compensate them. So make sure you take care of your workers there. Just print out this scan form and all will be well. All right, next important piece is the payment side of it. So money's going to come directly through Whatnot and will then be available for you guys. So you'll see it right within your Whatnot balance 2 to 3 days after the items are delivered. I'll say that again. So you'll see it in your Whatnot balance 2 to 3 days after each order is delivered. This is where we circle back and it being imperative that you guys ship out as fast as possible. Faster you ship out, faster you guys receive your payout, right? So definitely be on top of that. To combat some of the time it takes to receive your payout, since we are aware of that, we have built out something called an early payout program. Highlighted on the right-hand side of the screen here, the early payout program essentially helps you unlock your capital faster. So once you hit these 4 criteria points and you're a part of this program, once you generate your labels on the dashboard, you'll automatically receive your payout versus having to wait the 2 to 3 days until after it gets delivered. So like I said, this is going to help you guys actually receive that capital a lot faster, help you turn it back in to either product, lifestyle, or shopping habits on the platform, whatever it might be. Know it's going to take some time. Know you're going to need to have a long-term mindset here. It's going to take work. Maybe it might take some blood, sweat, and tears, right? But it's a great leverage that you guys want to be able to have on the platform. Internally, we also use that kind of as the first ladder of successful sellers that we start to identify, right? So if we see that sellers are starting to get to that point, emerging sellers, and they start to get to early payout, that's just another little flag on our radar. Hey, that's a great seller there, right? So these are definitely things to strive for. Say a month down the line, you're like, I remember that funny Ryan guy talking about me getting my money faster in that onboarding session. Don't remember anything else about it. That's okay. You guys can reach out to seller support at whatnot.com. They're going to provide you with more information there. They can even help you figure out where you're pacing on it. Our team's going through at the end of every month, helping enable our sellers receive this. So if you have questions on where you're pacing, just reach out to seller support. You guys have probably read the rest of the slide by now, so I'll just kind of fly through it. In terms of cashing out, you guys can cash out either via bank transfer, ACH transfer to your bank, or via PayPal, completely up to you. Jumping over to seller fees, I hit on this earlier, $0 shipping fee for you as a seller. Only time you pay for shipping is if you want to run a giveaway, and it's just based on the weight of the item. So if you're going to give away a card stand, like I just bought this little pull wax card stand. If I wanted to give away this card stand here, this is 4 ounces, I'd be paying worth $4 ounces of shipping on it, right? So just keep that in mind. Payment processing fee of 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction, and then it's going to be a commission of 8% on the sales price only. So keep in mind, those are 2 different things. So if I sell this Josh Allen for $10, 8% comes off the 10 bucks, 2.9% comes off of the $14.73 after tax and shipping, or whatever it might be. I'll show you in a second where you guys can view those order receipts. Last thing to highlight on this slide is going to be our cancellation policy. So buyer can request a cancellation. You guys as a seller have the freedom to accept or deny that. All of those requests are going to come in directly through your seller dashboard. We just ask that you guys are reasonable here. Just be fair with every request, but by no means you need to feel pressure to accept everything. The bids are binding for the buyer. So if they decide to pay 40 bucks on this Tom Brady die cut, I definitely wouldn't do that. But if they decide to pay 40 bucks on this card, the bid is binding for them. Obviously, we ask for reason here. So if someone's bidding on this Josh Allen, they accidentally type in an extra 0, they pay $100 for this card instead of 10, they type in, they're like, hey, Andrew, I'm so sorry, that was a misbid. Can you please accept my cancellation request? Absolutely, very reasonable. Some examples that I would reject, though, you're going to see some crazy stuff. Common ones. My dog hit my bid button. I don't want the card anymore. I changed my mind. I no longer want the spot or the jersey. I've even seen before that said, my wife doesn't know I spent all this money tonight. Can you please cancel my order? Unfortunately not. Those requests are outlandish. You do not need to feel pressure to accept those. I just recommend that you guys are consistent with what you accept and deny. Up to you guys on how you want to actually run your ship. Keep in mind the bids are also binding for you as a seller. So this is a $50 card and it sells for $35. You're still obligated to ship that out, right? So if you guys start to cancel orders, our trust and safety team is going to be notified. You guys are going to be actioned upon. Very, very far down the road, it can lead to you guys even getting suspended or banned. So please just take care of your customers. Be fair to every person who wins an item. Make sure you ship everything out. All right, like I said, here's where you guys are going to be able to view your receipts for each order. So if we go back to the seller dashboard, right, you collapse this little receipt here for the buyer, whoever Ryan is, you'll be able to see those 3 different orders for Ryan. And then you can click on View Item Receipt, and you'll be able to see the overall payout for each order. So just keep in mind there, that's how you'll be able to receive that. If you guys would like to access a sales ledger, you can actually reach out to seller support and they can provide that for you. All right, speaking of seller support, seller resources. So our team has tried to go above and beyond to create some incredible resources for you guys as a seller here on the platform. We really want to make sure, like I said, that you guys feel equipped, confident, and comfortable to really crush these streams. So first thing to highlight is the Whatnot Creator Academy. The Creator Academy is essentially your digital playbook to getting your first live streams off the ground and running. So it is going to help walk you through step-by-step, A to Z on how to really execute and crush those first streams. So pre-stream, how to upload product, how to schedule your show, a thumbnail, preview video, the whole 9, right? Next, it's going to help you out during showtime, what to do, different camera angles, different streaming features, everything you need to know. And then it'll help you out on the back end, how to end your show, print your labels, do all the good stuff, even though I just shared some of that with you, right? So it's really going to help walk you through all of that. Definitely encourage you guys to take the time to dive into that. The reason why I'm kind of spending a few minutes here is I want to encourage you guys to try and minimize as many rookie mistakes as possible. You guys are going to come across, speed bumps. You're going to have mistakes. That's okay. But the more that you can minimize some of those just helps out for an overall smoother experience for yourself and for the people hopping into your stream. So try and take advantage of that. Within the Creator Academy, a couple things I want to highlight. If you click on this little tab here that says categories, there will be a drop down. There's one for sports. You guys can access some discounted product here. So we have some GSP protectors that are available. They're Whatnot branded. We might have some more protectors that are available. I can't say when or who, but there might be some more protectors there in the store. There's some hobby armor, and there's even some Zion cases that are available, all at a discounted rate. And then on the promotion and marketing side, our marketing and design team went through and created some free assets for you guys. So you guys can download these. These are absolutely free creatives that you guys are good to use. You guys can download these, put them out on your social media, put it in your Facebook groups, Reddit, Threads, whatever it might be. You guys can print it off, even bring it to you if you're going to some local shows, get people to follow you on the platform too. So really great ways, free ways for you to market and grow your brand. And then we have our Seller Help Center. That's this picture on the top right corner. Essentially our seller FAQ page. However, it is still very, very robust, great resource. In the Going Live section, this is what I usually reference the most. There's a checklist for your first live. I love being able to check boxes. I use the checklist early on. You guys should have seen me my first couple streams. I used to work in our warehouse. We were doing Funko streams. It was a disaster. I had no clue what I was doing. I did not reference the checklist. I was dropping Funkos left and right. We were doing anime, and I don't know anything about anime, and I was butchering all these names. So I usually tell that story later, but just know the checklist is very, very resourceful. There's 27 different articles just in the Going Live section alone that you guys can reference for support. If you need further support, like I said, seller support and buyer support, two incredible teams. Seller support, I like to view them as mini account managers. They're going to be able to help you out with any need here on the platform from a selling perspective. Insured label for your 101 T-law. Your dashboard is glitching and you can't print your labels. You're just starting out and you need help with taxes and payouts. You want to change your username or your email. Have some feedback as a seller. Whatever it might be under the umbrella of selling here on Whatnot, that's your place to go. Second line of support is going to be buyer support. So this is going to be the kind of the channel that you want to direct all of your buyers if they have any type of order issues. So I get my cards from Andrew. I open them up, super excited. Unfortunately, they were not packaged well. I open it up. There were no top loaders on the card. I hop back into their live. I'm like, hey, I noticed that you didn't ship the cards well. I need a refund. My cards came damaged. It's bound to happen. You guys are going to have buyers, whether it's legitimate or not, that might not be upset or that might be upset with the order, right? If anyone comes in your stream, they DM you that, here's the perfect answer. Hey, Nathan. Hey, Nicholas. Hey, Gabe. I'm so sorry. That was not my intention. I recommend you reach out to support@whatnot.com. They're going to be able to further assist you there. Boom, check mark, A+ answer, right? So we want our support team to be the front line of defense. We're going to be able to really investigate those claims, make sure that there's consistent messaging, and also be able to resolve the issue for them without adding in any additional type of emotion, right? So if I know that I'm an excellent shipper and someone gives me a 1-star in every single thing, that's probably going to make me upset, which has happened before. But if I reached out to that buyer, I was like, hey, what's going on? And he reached back out to me, creates all this drama, right? That's not going to be a very good look, right? So just recommend any type of buyer-related issues, send them to support. They're going to be able to take care of it. If your buyers need refunds, if they have a damaged order, missing an item, USPS says it got delivered and it never did, have them go their way. If we need to reach out to you, they'll shoot you an email. Our buyer support team will. Otherwise, they're going to take care of everything. The last two items here, seller Discord, text message line, really straightforward. You guys will be able to have access to these two resources once you guys get your live access turned on. All right, we're going to jump into trust and safety here. Trust and safety is a very important topic for us here at Whatnot. I know I just threw a ton of information at you guys, so just want to take a second, take a deep breath, remind you guys are able to take screenshots, take notes, lots of information coming your way. For trust and safety, we want to make sure that every seller, every buyer, every viewer has a safe experience on the platform, no matter when or where. So terms of community guidelines, you guys can view all of these on the website, FAQ page, Creator Academy, whatever it might be. But I really want to highlight some of the guidelines where, as sellers, there's a lot of violations that occur. If a violation occurs, there is a matrix that our team will action upon. I want to help minimize as much of that. I want to make sure that you guys are just able to focus on selling, don't have to worry about any of these trust and safety issues, right? So one of the big things, guidelines for everyone. Do not engage in racism, bigotry, or misogyny. Most of you guys here in the room would be like, absolutely, Ryan, I don't do that on the daily. I'm not going to do that on Whatnot. Love it. But keep this in mind, right? You guys are all coming from different walks of life. There's going to be people coming in your stream that also are coming from different walks of life, different races, religions, beliefs, different parts of the country, different times, right? So it's going to be a whole melting pot of people in there. Not everyone is going to know your level of sarcasm. Not everyone's going to know what you and your group of best friends in your Discord server call each other. They're not going to know that you don't like Tom Brady because he hurt your feelings as an Ohio State fan early back in the day, right? So they're not going to know all these little nuances. Where I'm going with this, just be mindful on what you guys are talking about. Be respectful. I would limit from making fun of people. Make sure if you're joking with someone that there's reciprocation on. Try and be respectful to people. Build your brand well. You guys really want to focus on building that brand, growing your follower base, and generating some true relationships. That is what can be a really successful foundation for you as a seller here on the platform. So avoid any type of harassment, please. Guidelines for sellers. Couple big ones here. Do not accept off-platform payments. This means that you cannot have a buyer offer to Venmo, Zelle, PayPal, Cash App, anything of that sort. So if they're like, hey, I saw on your store that you've got a Reggie Jackson slab right next, or you've got a Reggie Jackson slab in your store. Like, I love Reggie Jackson. Can I PayPal you? Unfortunately not. Would recommend that if anyone's offering that, just be like, actually, I'd like to keep that transaction here right now and Whatnot. We can do it care of it, shipping will be taken care of right away. You can upload that item, boom, 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 take care of it there. Second thing to highlight is no explicit content. So when you guys are scheduling your first stream, you guys are going to see this later today or whenever you get your live access, there's a little toggle at the very bottom of your screen that says explicit content. If you turn that on, just know that that's going to give transparency to these buyers and viewers if there's going to be any type of cuss words, mature conversation, or a drink or two, right? So if you're planning on listening to some music that has some cuss words, acting kind of crazy with your friends, maybe talking a little bit more mature, or you're having a drink or two, turn that toggle on. Like I said, it just gives full transparency to these viewers and expect. So if they hop into Rick's stream, it's a mom and her 10-year-old son, they hop into Rick's stream and they see that Rick is talking some crazy smack and talking some crazy things. They weren't prepared for that. That might impact whether they even come back to Whatnot, or especially if they come back to Rick's stream. So just be mindful there. Be nice to people and say hello as well. If you have this explicit content toggle turned on, that does not keep you exempt from being able to show nudity or violence, extreme drug usage. Those things are not acceptable on the platform, so don't think just because you have that toggle on, that means you're good to go there. Just use your common sense here, guys. Couple other points that I'll touch on really quickly. Being truthful about pricing and condition. Just as you guys go to a show or go to your local card shop, make sure you highlight off the condition of the items. Show people if you're selling a $1,000 single, highlight that. Hey, this looks a little heavy. I'm not a professional grader. This looks a little heavy, looks good on the back. Corners look a little soft. I like it though, right? Perfect. If you're selling a $5 single, I don't need to give a PSA grade on this one. If there's a huge scratch across the middle, I'd be like, hey, you guys can see it, cool. Once again, it just comes back to the idea and the theme of transparency. When it comes to pricing, make sure you can back everything up with market data. So if I'm trying to convince Josh that this red cracked ice IO is a $75 card, he's like, no way. He reaches out to support. Support's going to reach back out to me and be like, hey, we heard that you had some wild comps. Can you please share with us your market data on that? So if you are honest and transparent about the comps and the market data, you won't even need to receive that email. Just make sure you have that on hand, right? And then the last piece here, shipping quickly and safely. This isn't obvious. You guys are trying to build your brand here. You guys are really trying to take it to the next level, whether you're just starting your journey as a seller or you're a couple years into the mix, maybe 5-10 years into the mix, and you're really looking to expand and scale your business. Doesn't matter where you fall in that. Customers, ship fast, ship well, use extra packing peanuts, extra bubble wrap. If you guys are shipping high-end singles, sandwich them together with some hobby armor, make a little cardboard sandwich and use a box, right? Really keep in mind that you guys want to provide a premium buying experience. The more that you guys can do that, take care of your customers, like I said, that's going to really help build that follower base. You guys want to build a portfolio of buyers. So what can you guys control before it gets dropped off at USPS to where it's really going to ensure that? Your guys' streams, and then once you drop it off, you can't control the shipping journey, but you can control when they open it up and they see how well it's packaged and what else you threw in there, right? So I even encourage you guys, go the extra mile if you're really looking to make this a full-time thing. Custom packaging tape, custom boxes, custom thank you cards, business letters. A lot of sellers will add in a little stickers. A lot of our thrift sellers will put in little candies like Jolly Ranchers or Suckers in there. If that's your thing, cool. I've seen sellers before that will take care of all the buyers that they see that are repeat customers. So they're like, hey, I've seen that Mark is always in my live. I'm going to throw him an extra little pack. I've got one seller called Guppies. They're always throwing me extra pack, because I buy like 3-4 spots in their team breaks all the time, right? So really try and take care of your customers. Maybe your thing is that you try and take care of every new customer. It's like, all right, I saw that Kevin, Craig, and Salvador bought from me for the first time. I'm going to give them a custom little Ryan card stand. So that way, every time they use that card stand, they see me, they think of me, and they want to come back and hang out, and it builds that relationship. So think of these ways that you guys can really build your brand there. Might take a couple extra dollars, but look at it as a marketing and also as an investment into your business. I know that kind of went off track about guidelines, but great advice there. Last piece around trust and safety is mystery and gambling policy. We do have to touch on this from a legal standpoint as we're not a gambling app, so keep that in mind. General guidelines for our team breaks. Everyone must receive a card. Keep that in mind. So no matter what level of break mixer that you guys are doing, everyone must receive a card. So if you're opening up a case of Flawless, just keep in mind that the other 20 to 25 people whose teams don't hit, they're going to need to receive a card or some type of item. It's bound to happen whether you're doing a hanger box, a mega, or you're doing a 10-box mixer. there's going to be a team that doesn't hit. That's okay. We just ask that you provide that buyer with some additional type of compensation. What that looks like is if someone spends $25 on a break spot, you send them a couple singles. Maybe you send them two little singles like this that are worth $3 to $5. Cool. That's perfect. Doesn't have to be equal value. If they're spending a couple $100 into a flawless break, panini 1-on-1 break, something expensive, maybe that's where you up it. Maybe that's where you send a little bit more. Send them a blaster or, a Kawhi Funko Pop and a break mat. Little things like that. Maybe even send them a slab. Little things like this really can change their overall just viewpoint of you as a seller. I've had it before where I didn't expect to get anything. I open up the package because I know sellers have to ship it out to make sure they get paid out. I open it up. There's a pack of cards. There's a cheap slab. I'm like, wow, this guy really cared about me as a buyer. This could be a $3 slab here. I don't care. I'm going to use it. I'm going to take advantage of it. Like, I appreciate that person. So little things like that really can help out. And around the definition of a transaction, everyone has to receive a product. So keep that in mind. Next point here, no selling spots in randomized games of chance. So that just means you can't sell entries in for games of chance where someone can win a prize, i.e. buyer-only giveaways, or, hey, buy in, I got 30 different spots to fill. One person's going to win PSA 10 mic drop slab. Things like that are not allowed, unfortunately, as well as duck races, dice rolls, fillers, razzes, box, pack, and spot wars. I know that's a lot of information there. You guys can see this more in depth on our website. Happy to tackle some questions at the end. Our seller support team can also provide guidance here. Just because you see someone else on Whatnot doing it doesn't mean that it's right. Also doesn't mean that it's wrong. So if you have questions on the clarity of it, feel free to reach out to the team and we can provide guidance. Last piece here is mystery packs and poll games. I personally love mystery packs and poll games. I think they're super fun. Keep in mind, though, all cards must remain on screen at all times. So that's a good guideline for everything that you're doing. Keep it on screen. But mystery packs, poll games, it must remain on screen. And then you must publish the big three. What's the big three, might you ask? That is going to be this information here. The floor, ceiling, and average. So the reason why we ask that is just for full transparency for the buyer. The floor, ceiling, and average must be published in the product description. Let me say that again. It has to live within the product description. So it can't be on a little sticky note in the background. I can't have it on a banner on my OBS setup that's going around saying the floor, ceiling, and average. Unfortunately, that does not work. It has to live within the product description itself. And then general guidance here, make sure that these numbers are as accurate as possible. Don't stretch those numbers. Make sure you can back it up with market data if need be. All right, we've got 11 minutes left before Q&A, so gonna hammer home with some information here. Lots of good stuff coming your way. Once again, feel free to take notes and screenshots. We're getting into the piece now, the third tail of our presentation of starting to grow your brand. I already talked about a lot of these best practices, but let's really hone in here on how you guys can separate yourself from everyone else here in the room and for your guys' competition on the platform. So first thing to tackle, growing your brand. There is a misconception. The misconception is that to have a great Whatnot following, you have to have a great social following. That is not the case. By no means is that the case. Now, if you have 4,000 followers on Instagram, there's no world where that hurts you in your Whatnot following, but it doesn't really define a great Whatnot following. Here's what I believe based off of visuals and data that defines that great Whatnot following. Consistency, production, and promotion. What does consistency look like? To me, consistency looks like going live multiple times a week, 3 to 4 times a week. Going live once a week on a Wednesday at 2:30 doesn't equal consistency to me. Put in the hours here, guys. That's really going to help you grow your brand. It helps, one, figure out how to use the app, make sure you're an expert at it. Second, you're able to figure out what product is moving well, what you want to have on hand, what you don't, what do you want to stock up on, next drop, what do you need to pre-order, right? And third, it's going to help out with that overall visibility and exposure. I hit on this earlier. Whatnot has a level of a social element, right? Meaning there's an algorithm. So the more that you guys are consistent and selling on a platform, the more that you guys are going to be raised up on that. We have a new algorithm coming out for the For You page. People are going to be able to see these things, right? So consistency, got to really drive that home. If your schedule, if your life, if your inventory only works where you can do 1 to 2 times a week, hey, that's okay. I get it. But I'm going to challenge you guys here. If you can only go live once or twice a week, how are you going to still compete with those other people? My challenge is go and hang out on the app still. Spend 30 minutes on a Saturday and a Sunday and an hour on a Tuesday just hanging out in the breaks. Be like, hey hubby, hey wifey, hey dad, hey friends, like I'm going to go personal time we'll go watch some Whatnot for a little, right? That actually can help your brand just by hanging out, talking with other people, buying into some breaks or some slabs. People start to see your name. They click on your profile. They're like, I've seen Mark Kelly's page before. Like, I'm going to click on that. Oh, he's got 3 different show schedules in the next week. Boom, bookmark, follow, boom. I just became a friend like that just because I saw that we were hanging out on the same stream. Things like that happen. So consistency. Second, production. Obviously, have a great show, good lighting. You can have tunes in the background, so have a good speaker, some LED lights, card stands, the 9, right? But further defining that, I really think that audience engagement and quality listings can really drive that production of the show. So engaging with your audience, that just means saying hi to everyone that hops in, having conversation with people, talking with them. I like to make fun of myself because it feels natural and people can also laugh along. No one else is getting made fun of. So I make fun of myself all the time. I joke around. I put up random polls yesterday in my stream. I don't know if any of you guys caught it. Probably not because I don't have that many followers, but I put up a poll that said best Thanksgiving side dish. And I got some engagement. I got some people, staying locked in. So, right. So little things like that. We talked about whether we liked turkey dry or turkey with gravy. I put up a little poll. I kept people's attention locked in while I was running these cards. So little things like that can help out with the show production. And then quality listings, make sure you list those items ahead of time. Have great enriched listings, pictures, details, titles, set prices. If you have things that you want to set at $50, set it at $50. Have a great title. If you're doing slabs, have that up there. That really is going to help out with that early shopping for your buyers, whether they're in your stream or whether they just go to the search bar, they type in 2021 Optic Blaster, they see that you have some personals loaded up in your buy it now, they can go right into your stream to purchase that. So be proactive there. And then the last piece is promotion, using whatever social media you have, Facebook groups, Snapchat, Reddit, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever it might be. Put your links out there, put it in your bio, help make those conversions. We also have specific credits here. So you guys can get a $10 buyer credit for every first-time buyer you refer. You send them this link, they make their first purchase on Whatnot, $10 to you, $10 for them. And then there's also a seller referral. So if you guys are in any great, Facebook groups or Discord servers, or you go to a show every single month and there's other great sellers there, they're not selling on Whatnot, you refer them, they get approved, they go through this same process here, they go live and make a sale of $1 or more, you guys are going to get a $200 credit back to your account, right? You could even be at where it's like, hey man, go live, yada, 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 I'm going to send you $25 after I get that credit, right? Because you're going to take care of them too. Cool, do whatever you want. These are great ways for you to grow some of your brand and also just make the community feel more authentic as well. Last piece here is running auctions. Auctions are a staple on Whatnot. I know I've shared a lot of things today. Auctions are very, very important. They really drive a lot of that viewership. I encourage you guys, have items up for auction, have items up in the buy it now. Have a good mix of both. And then when it comes to auctions, you can start your price at whatever you want for however long you want. So if you want to do it at $1 for a minute, you can. If you want to do it at $25 for 15 seconds, you can do that. If you have specific margins on your break spots and you're like, hey, I have to go $50 because I know I paid $500 for this box, cool. You guys are more than welcome to do whatever you want. I'm going to provide with this, though. Be flexible early on. Don't be afraid to give out a couple good deals here and there. Maybe you give out a stasher pass. Maybe, you're doing some singles and you're like, you know what, I'm going to add an extra single in here. I'm going to give you a good deal. Or if someone's hesitant on spending $50, be like, you know what, I'll drop it down to 40 for the first 5 spots, right? So don't be afraid to give out some good deals here and there. Think of it as that investment into your brand. We already talked about best practices here, preview videos, scheduling your shows in advance. If you guys go click on my profile right now, you would see that I have 2 shows scheduled in advance. I'm not a full-time streamer, so I'm not hitting that mark there, but you guys would have the ability to go bookmark those shows. If I click on your profile and you don't have any shows bookmarked, it limits how many people are actually going to hop into that stream and whether someone's going to convert as a buyer. So have your show scheduled in advance, have some great thumbnails or preview videos. It doesn't have to be as elegant as this. It can be a little picture of your product. You can be holding up these singles with a nice little smile and a Christmas hat on. That's cool. That's perfect as well. Diversified content. Don't run the same thing over and over again. Don't be a fisherman. Don't only do dollar singles. There used to be one seller. I don't even know if I follow them anymore because they just did the same thing. Every single night at 10:30, they were doing NBA single poll game. every single night, guys. I'm telling you, on the dot, 10:30, I get a notification, boom, same seller goes live. Eventually, they kind of exhausted their customers where I liked who they were, but I didn't want to buy NBA singles pool game every single night, right? So try and create some diversity. Maybe one night you do sudden death singles of some low-end players you have. Another night you're doing team breaks, and then another night you're doing mid-end singles where every card is a patch. It could be a $3 patch, but it starts at $1, right? Whatever it is, try and create some diversity in some of that. Obviously, have fun. Here's some great examples of listings in the buy it now. I'm really firm. I believe really strongly on personals for this upcoming holiday season. I think there's going to be tons of people that are wanting to shop for their kids, loved ones as gifts to buy personals. It's a lot easier to go on Whatnot, have it shipped right away, than going to hunt for this blaster box at every single Target or Walmart that you live in the near area, right? So they can go on Whatnot and get that. Boom, have those blasters loaded up. You guys can also try other categories. Subcategories can provide a lot of opportunity as well. So there's less competition. These subcategories are very unsaturated. Baseball, soccer, F1, UFC, WWE, hockey, sports memorabilia. A lot of these categories don't have a ton of sellers, meaning that you guys could be one of the premier sellers in that category, especially with World Cup coming up, with the Olympics coming back around. Guys, there's so many crazy things that you guys are going to be able to take advantage of here. We already talked heavy on singles. My only advice when it comes to singles, list them out early in advance. This really helps out with the shopping experience. If someone hops on Whatnot and they want to buy some Juan Soto, they type it right in their search bar, they're going to see every single listing that comes up from Filth Bomb, right? So try and be proactive there. Here's a couple examples of how you guys can elevate your show experience. So we have screen sharing. We have OBS streaming. We also have seller tools. Screen sharing is great if you guys are doing team breaks, especially if you have bad penmanship. Please hear me out. If you have bad penmanship, use the screen sharing. You guys can incorporate multiple devices. You can type all the names on Excel. It works out well. It's really bad when we have sellers that write the teams down and I don't even know where my name falls on the piece of paper. So be proactive with that, right? Use screen sharing. OBS is a great software you guys can integrate. If you guys are a little bit more tech savvy, you want to have a good setup, a microphone, a little banner that's moving at the top of your screen with graphics. You guys can do that. The seller tools are built into the app as well. So all these items are free. These are really going to help you take that show to the next level. Final steps here. If we have any Canadian sellers in the building, 1, welcome. 2, please go ahead and take a screenshot of this slide. It is very important that you guys have your address set up on hand prior to getting your live access. I'm going to hold just for a second before we go to the next slide. I can also go back to this if need be. All right. Usually I spend more time on this, but just wanted to provide a little bit of encouragement here before we wrap things up. So this is a case study that we have. We pulled this from back in May. We had a seller who's doing pretty well. They're doing 10K a month. They had a little squad of streamers. They were going 4 times a week, right? What I recommend to you guys, they're finding success. We really pushed them. They really pushed themselves. They decided to go 110% in with Whatnot. To date, they're now going full-time, 14 plus streams a week. There's 10 team members there. They have people shipping. They have people fulfilling. They have people sorting, streaming. They're doing over 100K a month. This is an incredible story that is just amongst the many, right? So there's many opportunities out there. There's many stories of these sellers that are absolutely changing the course of their life. If this is just a part-time thing for you and you want to have fun and build a great community, you're at the right place. If this is also a thing for you where you want to go full-time, you really want to change things around and go full-time and find some incredible results, Whatnot is also the place for you. So if you guys lean in, put in the work, the time, the effort, results can be amazing. We have a principle and a mantra here, and I'll leave with this. We want every one of you guys to be able to turn your passions into full-time businesses. And if that is the hobby and sports cards for you guys, I hope that you guys can really achieve that here. All right, final steps. Thanks for sticking with me on the little pep talk there. I'm going to drop a link down in the chat. You guys can also take out your phone and scan that QR code. The final step here is to fill out this quiz. It'll take 2 minutes. Like I said, click on the link down in the chat or take your phone out and scan the QR code. The quiz just ensures that 1, you're present for today's sports onboarding session, and 2, that you try to pay as much attention as possible. I know there was a lot of information thrown your guys' way, so try and do your best. It is pass-fail, so you don't have to worry about getting a B or higher. You'll be good there. Like I said, guys, thank you again for your time. Make sure you guys fill out this quiz. This is the last piece for you guys to gain live access. If you do not fill out this quiz and you submitted an application, you will not be able to receive your live access. Couple things to note. Use the same username and email address that you used on your application to log in. Select the sports category. That's what you guys all applied under. You guys will get your live access turned on within 48 hours of today's session. A few of you guys in the room might get an additional email where you have to verify your Stripe ID. Just go ahead with steps there. That email is from our team. Don't worry. It's probably just because the ID didn't come in clear. Don't stress out about that. If there's any issues that arise, you guys can email applications@whatnot.com. They'll be able to help you out, make sure that you get your live access set up. All right, so we're at the end of our presentation today. So if anyone doesn't have any questions, they completed the quiz, you guys are more than welcome to drop. Thank you for your time. If you want to stick around for another 6 or 7 minutes, we'll open up the floor to Q&A. So how we're going to do this is there's a hand raising feature on the bottom of your screen. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to use that. Boom, just like that. So either raise your hand or you can type a question down in the chat. I'll just kind of take the questions in terms of order. We'll go first to last. If you're afraid to hop off mute or take yourself off camera, you don't want to ask the question, that's okay. Just throw it down in the chat. And like I said, if you guys don't have questions, you completed the quiz, you guys are good to get out of here. All right, Kevin and then Gabe.
Yeah, I just had a quick question about like the like mystery bags. So you had said you can't sell entries to, you know, like a game of chance, duck race, etc. I've seen, and I know you said if you've seen it doesn't mean it's right, but I've seen situations where, you know, if you pay a certain price for a spot in a break, for example, that gets you entered into a duck race where you could potentially win something extra. Would that be something that's allowed, or would that be outside of the rules?
Yeah, unfortunately, that would not fall in alignment with our upcoming policy. Yeah, so that is the reason why is because it's encouraging people to spend more money and it's activating it. If you, whereas like, hey, I'm doing a team break and highest bidder gets the Jaguars because you're doing NFL, right? That's cool. But if it's like, hey, whoever spends X amount of money gets put into a buyer-only giveaway, unfortunately, that's where it doesn't become allowed.
Gotcha. Okay.
Great question, though. All right. Up next, we got Gabriel.
Hey, I was just curious where the survey is, or whatever that is that you're talking about.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and drop it down in the, what the heck did I just do? Oh, sorry, guys. I don't know what I just did. There we go. My bad there. My screen just freaked out. Let me go ahead and share this again. I'm going to drop the link down in the chat. So it should be in the bottom right corner of your screen. If you're on your phone, it might come up in a different widget, though. Are you seeing that now, Gabriel?
Yep, got it.
Cool. There we go. We got Rick and then Salvatore. I think your microphone might be off, Rick. If you can't figure it out, you can also throw it down in the chat. Pressure to type fast. All right. Well, while Rick is typing that one out, why don't we hop over to Salvatore and then we'll answer Rick questions after.
Hi, Ryan. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. So just to clarify on the fees, For an example, if you sell an item for $100, obviously the shipping, like you said, is covered through whatnot. What of that do we clear, for example, if it's 100, for example, on a sale?
Yeah, great question. So in the example of the sale being $100, so it'll be an 8% take off of that $100. So 8% of 100 is $8. So $8 will come off of that. And then the 2.9% plus 30 cents will come off of the $100, the sales price, plus the tax and the shipping. So say to make things nice and easy, it was 120 after tax and shipping, right? We're going to do 120 times 0.029. You're at $3.48 plus 30 cents. So $3.78 plus $8, you'd be looking at $11.78.
Okay, so that roughly would be your fee.
Yep,
Okay.
so it'd be $88 or so off of that $100.
Okay, and the sales tax automatically comes off like eBay does it.
Yep, so the sales tax is automatically collected on behalf of the buyer.
Right, we get the 1029 at the end of the year.
Yeah, we'll send you the 1099.
1099, I'm sorry, yeah. Okay, good. Sorry.
You're all good. All good. Great question there. Okay, I saw Rick's question come through. Oh, great question. What does Whatnot plan to do with eBay and TikTok coming out with similar software? How are they going to stay ahead? Oh man, I feel like I'm on a panel here, really put me on the hot seat. That's a great question there. We are very, very firm and confident in the technology and the team and the platform that we have. And I think there's a reason that even just within less than 3 years, that we're considered competitors with those companies, right? And I think there's a lot of reasons that all of a sudden they're starting to develop these types of these programs such as eBay Live or TikTok Live, which have my opinions on both, but really believe that we're just so far ahead. However, we're really trying to figure out multiple ways to make the experience even better. I think what defines us as a true competitor and helps us stand out is the community side of it. We really, we say this all the time, community is the backbone of who we are. That's why we're having these conversations. That's why we put on these events. We give away these items. You know, our warehouse goes live and does a whole giveaway show, right? So we really believe that community is the backbone of who we are, and we keep that in mind with a lot of our core principles as well. So hopefully that was able to answer your question in kind of a vague manner as well. Cool. Donnie, up next.
Hey, so I'm not sure if this question was already asked. I was doing the quiz, so I wasn't really paying the best attention.
You're good.
But so mainly, like, I sell sports cards and everything, but I also do a lot of Pokemon as well. So I know today was for the sports, but like, let's say I wanted to schedule a stream, where I'm selling Pokemon cards. Is that possible with today's onboarding, or is that like a separate thing I would need to do?
Yeah, great question, man. So once you guys get your live access turned on, you guys are going to be able to sell in every single category except for sneakers and streetwear. So and streetwear are the only two categories that require a second application. That's just due to the amount of counterfeits in those marketplaces. And we have separate teams that approve each category. But in terms of TCG, Funkos, comics, estate sales, crystals, whatever it might be, you guys are good to sell in those other categories as well. A lot of the same practices apply. Sports cards is very nuanced and very detailed, but it can still be taken over to those other ones. Would recommend, though, that you schedule separate streams. So when you're scheduling your first stream, you'll notice you can only tag it to one main category. So you can't do sports and TCG. So if you integrate those two different products, not the worst thing, but you're probably just not going to have the target audience for a Pokemon member versus a sports card fan, right? So just schedule it in advance, but definitely communicate that to people. They hop in, someone asks like, hey, what else do you got? Be like, I have Pokemon too. Like, go check out my page. Throw that in your bio that you do Pokemon sports cards and fitteds, right? Little things like that are really cool.
Thanks.
No problem. All right, we will give Nicholas the last question of the day here. Cool, threw it down in the chat. Great question. Is there a way to remove a viewer from your stream if they're being disrespectful? Absolutely. So two things to hit there. One, you guys have the ability to remove and ban a user from your stream. And also you can remove or you can ban them permanently where they can no longer enter your stream as a whole. Be mindful, keep that in mind. You guys need to be appropriate and respectful when it comes to your bans. Do not abuse those. However, if someone's being disrespectful, you guys can ban them. You can remove them from your stream. There's an in-app reporting feature. I'd also encourage you guys, this is where consistency and community comes in. You can invite people to be moderators in your stream. When I go live, I have a couple guys that I have as moderators, so they can hop in and they can kind of monitor the chat, see how people are acting, make sure it's cool. So Mark, say for example you're friends with Layla, No Wheelie Rick, and Graham. You can add them in as additional moderators. They can all hop in your stream, and they can make sure that if anyone hops in talking some smack or being really disrespectful, they can give them warnings, and then they can remove them. That way you can focus on your stream. Fantastic question there, Nick. All right, guys, thank you so much for your time today. You guys had some incredible questions, very unique questions as well. So I always appreciate that. I usually get the same questions over and over again. But you guys are good to go. So within the next 48 hours, you guys are going to get your live access turned on. Wish you the best of luck. Make sure you schedule that show in advance. Take all these practices in. Check out the Creator Academy. If you guys have any additional questions, you guys can reach out to sellersupport@whatnot.com. Otherwise, you guys are good to start crushing it. So wish you guys the best of luck on your first stream. Enjoy your guys' long upcoming weekend for Thanksgiving if you celebrate that as well. Thanks so much and enjoy the rest of your night, guys. See you later.